Smith going for his third this year. He was at 158 national champion last year. Whew.
And Pat Smith is from that, as we said, there's Matt Demaray from Wisconsin. Just a solid all-around wrestler. In fact, he lost for the second time this year. He lost to Iowa's Tom Ryan, who's not happy about sitting in the crowd and knowing that he's ranked third. But that's Pat Smith for the red team. He has a possibility of being the first wrestler ever to win 4 national titles. Nobody's ever done it.
4 NCAA Division I national titles. It's something that's been sought after and not found.
But it's a lot easier to say it than to do it. And he definitely has a long ways to go yet. And you'll see him out here now against a tough national champion opponent at a lower weight last year. The red team, Smith of Oklahoma State of the Big 8. Blue team, Demaray of Wisconsin, the Big 10. Very stable is Demaray. Good, solid position.
Again,
don't wait, guys. Come
both
on, don't
these
wait.
wrestlers
Let's go.
are future hopeful Olympians. They both have the style. Demaray, especially right now as a senior, he could challenge
Don't wait, gentlemen. Let's
this
go.
year for a spot in a national team, which is the top 3. He has the style, and so does Pat Smith, of course, and you're going to see a lot of both of these wrestlers beyond their NCAA eligibility.
Back to the center again. They have used a minute here, looking at each other. Neither has wrestled the other, as far as I know.
Offense, guys. Come on.
You hear Chad Crow. Oh, there goes Matt Demaray on the leg, but it's not enough for Smithy. Demaray's doing a nice job out there with an underhook and a second shot at an ankle pick, but he hasn't scored. He's at least giving Smith something to think about. They lock horns, separate. There's that famous Smith low single.
That his brother John Smith, 5-time world champion, made famous. I mean, he really changed the sport. Very few wrestlers in the history of the sport have the opportunity to actually change the sport, but John has that low single down pat, and you know,
got him the Sullivan Award last year.
Bet, it did.
The best amateur athlete in the United States. Name your sport.
Let's go, guys. Come on, offense.
1:20 to go in the first period. With Smith on the outside, he'd rather not tie up.
Let's not wait.
Demaray's willing to settle for that same open position. Now Smith locks up a little bit. Each has made some shots, but they're both inactive now. Chad Crow whistles them back to the center again. He just assumed they rethought this and went back to work. 2 national champions here, wrestling at 158. Demaray up 1 weight from last year. What do you think? He's going to stay there this year, probably, through the entire NCAAs? Demaray's been at 158 all year. 55 seconds to go, first period.
We talk about the family story and the Smiths with Leroy and their younger brother Mark even coming up behind, but Demaray, Matt's from a good wrestling family. His dad, Bill, won 2 Division II championships in the late 60s, early 70s.
Hey, guys, open up.
Smith made the shot from outside, and Demaray immediately launched his tough front headlock that stopped the position, and so the referee, Chad Crow, brought it back to a stalemate, back up on their feet again. You can see Smith like a snake out there, snapping up, looking for an ankle from the right across the top of the mat. 20 seconds to go. Yep, Tom Ryan of Iowa beat Matt Demaray over the weekend, 5-4 on the last period takedown. This is only the second loss for Demaray this year. And Smith has been tied once by Ray Miller of Arizona State. Now Chad Crow's seen enough. He warns both men for inactivity. He thinks they're both being too cautious. No scoring in the end of the first period. 3 minutes gone without a score. And it's Smith's choice. So he goes under.
Bottom of your set, top man.
That's the first freshman ever to win.
Took a couple hops before we got started.
Right out of high school, the NCAA championship, 1 of 3.
Just a little bit.
There have been some people who were good enough to win 4 national championships who had, I think of one, for instance, back in the 40s. from Cornell College. Lowell Lang won 3 titles and was hurt the
Well,
fourth
and
year and never got a chance.
Both Lowell Lang and Dick Hauser were true freshmen when they won NCAA titles in 1947. And they just, like you said, it didn't...
In on the leg, this is Demaray, but boy, Smith is strong in there against that position. He countered out of it very quickly.
Offense, come on. You've both been warned. Let's go, offense.
They respect each other. Demaray went from, Smith went from the outside. Now here's Demaray coming back for that heel pick and a takedown.
You know, I don't know about this year, but last year, Pat Smith didn't give up a takedown until the first round of the NCAA tournament. It happens this year in mid-season against Matt Demaray at the All-Star meet.
It's not the first time he saw that move in the match either. It was Demaray.
Okay, guys, come on, get after it.
At least let him know it was there early. But Demaray now leads 2-1 on a slick takedown. 2-2, I take that back after the escape earlier.
Be interesting. Demaray's good when he gets out ahead, but Pat Smith has proven he can come from behind, especially last year when he had a takedown in the last half minute of the match against Tom Ryan to win the national championship in his second.
Demaray has missed that long single twice and then has followed up with this move. And Smith, or rather Smith, and Smith is now up 4-2.
25, he gave him the 2, 25.
It was a really clever secondary move by Smith, because Demaray obviously is looking for that long single, and now Smith is in with both legs with only 10 seconds to go in the second period and leading 4-2.
Come here.
I see Russ Hellickson. There's Andy Ryan, protege, the head coach of Wisconsin, and a protege of Russ Hellickson, the coach today when Russ was at Wisconsin.
Now see, he didn't get the low single, but,
no, but he was able to really do a nice sort
of little arm drag.
Yeah, a little arm drag around, and stuck his leg in there and secured the 2 points, and the leg inside.
And he rides Demaray out. Riding time 19 seconds for Smith at the end of the second period, but with a 4-2 lead, that takedown was important for Smith because Demaray goes to the bottom and has a chance to escape for a point.
Bottom of your set, top man, take them. Both you got warning.
4-2. This match is going to be settled on the feet again. Looks that way. Tight waist by Smith. Took the ankle just long enough to keep Demaray from getting away, but can't do it the second time, and it's now 4-3 in favor of Smith. And we're back on the feet where each man had a takedown in the second period.
Don't wait, guys. Don't wait. Come on. Don't wait.
Each man's been warned. And I know that the officials don't want to settle a close match by calling penalties, so they just as soon get a lot of activity out here.
There's that little short arm drag right there that's turning into a good single leg. He needs to he's got to come around now. He needs to slip the arm out.
No points yet. No points yet.
Talk about Pat Smith here trying to slip the arm out. He does for 2 points.
All right, now there's an example of Smith, potentially dangerous position, stop that, of Smith learning something as the match went on. He went to school on what happened in that defensive position by Demaray and has scored twice on that slick little move of the arm drag.
Not when it goes to the outside. It was out here.
Chad Crow is waiting for Demaray to get the headgear back on. That's Pat Smith leading 6-3. We have a minute 8 to go. The National Wrestling Coaches All-Star Meet in Iowa City. The blue team, Demaray. The red team, Smith. Demaray's out. There's no riding time, so a takedown by Demaray ties it.
Well, both young men's fathers are here, and they're both nervous in the stand. Bill Demaray's over there cheering for Matt, of course, and Leroy Sr. is up in the stands. I saw him earlier, traveling all the way up from Del City to see Pat wrestle.
Demaray missed the ankle pick, and now Smith is back with a single leg. If he takes this, he could probably pretty well ice the match, but he doesn't have it yet. They're right on the edge.
Oh, nice job by Demaray of getting off the mat there, keeping himself in. Takedown ties it.
Back they go to the center. 6-4 with 26 seconds to go. Demaray needs a takedown to tie. We've had one overtime.
There's
and
been
a
no
couple of
stall.
others that were close. Demaray took a shot, didn't get it. Now, a penalty point against Smith would not be enough for Demaray. And it's Smith's match, 6-4. No riding time, 6-4 in favor of last year's 158-pound champion, Pat Smith of Oklahoma State, against Matt Demaray, last year's 150-pound national champion from Wisconsin. And here comes the 167 class.